Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Saturday here with the Big Ten picks. A lot of good action this college weekend here. Going to be doing all the major conferences, so go ahead and check those videos out. I'll be covering NFL as well. Going to be a loaded weekend of football, so that's very exciting. Just go ahead and like and subscribe, support the channel, guys. And we're going to hop into these matchups. 14 matchups, starting with the Illinois Fighting Illini versus the Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia opening up as 10.5-point favorites with the over-under at 55.5. Virginia, the money line favorite at minus 430. Illinois plus 330. Illinois coming off that UTSA loss 37-30. Did get a nice Nebraska win in their early week one opener. Virginia, dominant 43-0 William and Mary win. I think 10.5 points. I think it's going to be a tough matchup here. A very early game, 11 a.m. I think Illinois just had a rough game last game. They looked really good against Nebraska. I think they needed to play like they did there. I think Brett Bielema is going to get them going against this Virginia team. I'm going to take Illinois plus 10.5 in this matchup. Next matchup, we got the best matchup on the board, I think. It's going to be the Oregon Ducks versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State opening up as 14.5-point favorites with the over-under at 63.5. You can get Ohio State on the money line at minus 700. Oregon plus 475. Oregon coming off the 31-24 Fresno State win. Ohio State coming off that 45-31 win at Minnesota. Going to be a battle here. I mean, two teams fighting to get into a playoff, early in the season. I know it's early, but these are two teams fighting to get in. I think it's going to be a battle. 14.5 points is a lot. Two really great teams here. I just think this line's crazy. I don't know what Vegas is trying to do, but 14.5 points, it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a really close game here. Wouldn't surprise me if Oregon even wins too. I mean, Oregon's a really great team. I'm going to take Oregon plus 14.5. I think that's the best spread on this weekend. Maybe add them to a teaser, get those points up more if you're feeling unsure, but 14.5 points is a lot, and I'm going to take Oregon. Next matchup, we have Miami, Ohio Redhawks versus the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Minnesota opening up as 18-point favorites with the over-under at 54. You can get Minnesota minus 1,100 on the money line, very expensive money line for them, plus 700 for Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio coming off that 49-14 loss against Cincinnati. Minnesota coming off that 45-31 Ohio State loss. Yeah, sucks that Minnesota losing their number one rusher in Ibrahim. Got to be a good game for Minnesota here. They should be able to run it up on this Miami, Ohio team. I'm going to roll with Minnesota minus 18 and add them to some parlays on the money line. Next matchup, we have the Rutgers Scarlet Knights versus the Syracuse Orange. Rutgers opening up as 2-point favorites with the over-under at 51.5. You can get Rutgers on the money line at minus 130. Syracuse plus 110. Rutgers coming off a 61-14 Temple win. Syracuse coming off that 29-9 Ohio win. Really tough game here. I like Rutgers. They looked really good in that Temple game. They were able to score a lot of points. And, not excited about this matchup here, but should be a fun one. 2-point game. Going to roll with the Rutgers. Next matchup, we have the Purdue Boilermakers versus the UConn Huskies. Purdue opening up as 34.5-point favorites with the over-under at 57. Purdue coming off a 30-21 win over Oregon State. UConn coming off a 38-28 loss to Holy Cross, which is unbelievable. Just fired their head coach. Then they lost 45-0 against Fresno State. 34.5 points. It's a lot of points, but this UConn team losing to an FCS school like they did, they are a very bad team. I mean, if you watch this UConn team, they literally really can't move the ball. They struggle so bad. Very bad team here. going to take Purdue minus 34.5. Let me go ahead and tease them some points too, buy some points. But yeah, we're taking Purdue here. Next matchup, we have the Ball State Cardinals versus the Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State opening up as 22-point favorites with the over-under at 58. You can get Penn State on the money line at minus 2,000, and then Ball State plus 1,000. Ball State coming off a 31-21 win over WIU. Penn State coming off a 16-10 win over Wisconsin. This has got to be a game Penn State should be able to lock down. Their defense is phenomenal. They should be able to put up a lot of points on this Ball State team. I'm going to roll with Penn State minus 22. They really should have no issues, beating up on this Ball State team. Next matchup, we have the Buffalo Bulls versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska opening up as 14.5-point favorites with the over-under at 54.5. You can get Nebraska on the money line at minus 650. Then Buffalo plus 450. Buffalo coming off a 69-7 win against Wagner. Nebraska coming off a 52-7 win against Fordham. Tough matchup here. 14.5, man. I like Buffalo. Buffalo can score. They are a really good scoring team. Nebraska, they're not the best team coming off that cupcake win, but couldn't win against Illinois. I like Buffalo plus 14.5. Both teams like to run. Should be a fun high scoring game here. We'll take Buffalo plus 14.5. Next matchup, we have the Iowa State Hawkeyes versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa State opening up as 4.5-point favorites with the over-under at 46.5. You can get Iowa State on the money line at minus 190. Iowa plus 160. Iowa coming off that 34-6 win over Indiana. Iowa State coming off a 16-10 win over Northern Iowa. I think the fact that you can get Iowa plus 14.5 is kind of crazy here. I think Iowa's the better team. Iowa State struggled against Northern Iowa, which is a team they should have really beat up on. I just think this line is switched. I don't know. It seems kind of crazy to me. I'm taking Iowa plus 4.5 here. All right, next matchup, we have the Eastern Michigan Eagles versus the Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin opening up as 26-point favorites with the over-under at 52. You can get Wisconsin on the money line at minus 4,500. Eastern Michigan plus 1,500. Eastern Michigan coming off the San Francisco PA win 35-15. Wisconsin coming off that 16-10 tough loss against Penn State. That was a very great defensive battle. I really think Wisconsin, this has got to be their cupcake game on their schedule. They should be able to get a lot of offense in this game, unlike last week against Penn State. I just think they should be able to beat up on this Eastern Michigan team. I'm going to take Wisconsin minus 26. Next matchup, we have the Washington Huskies versus the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan opening up as 6.5-point favorites with the over-under at 48. You can get Michigan on the money line at minus 270. Washington plus 220. Washington coming off an embarrassing opening loss against Montana. Highly ranked team for Washington, and they really hurt their season. They gotta really win out to make a name for themselves. Michigan dominant opening performance against Western Michigan, 47-14. I just don't like the way Washington looked last week against Montana. They looked god awful. Michigan looked really good. I'm going to roll with Michigan minus 6.5. I think that's a really good. I think it's a steal. Washington should play a lot better, but hard to trust Washington after that Montana loss. Going to roll with Michigan. All right, next matchup, we have the Youngstown State's Penguins versus the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State opening up as 27-point favorites with the over-under at 51.5. Michigan State, coming off that really good win over Northwestern, 38-21. Should be a nice game for Michigan State here. Youngstown State 0-6 in their last 6. Haven't been very good. This should be a nice win for Michigan State. 27 points does seem like a lot, but the way they put it to Northwestern last week, They should be able to run and throw all over this Youngstown State team. Going to take Michigan State in this matchup. Next matchup, we have the Indiana State Sycamores versus the Northwestern Wildcats. Northwestern opening up as 28-point favorites with the over-under at 45.5. Indiana State, 0-5 in their last 5, 0-10 against the Big Ten. Northwestern coming off that bad Michigan State loss. It's got to be their bounce back game against Indiana State. They should be able to beat this team, make a statement, because they really didn't show up in their opener. Going to take Northwestern minus 28. Next matchup, we have the Howard Bison versus the Maryland Terrapins. Maryland opening up as 48-point favorites with the over-under at 55.5. Very big number. Maryland coming off a 30-24 win against West Virginia. Howard 1-17 in their last 18, 1-17 on the road. Yeah, insane number to put up for Maryland. I just don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna take Howard plus 48. The goal with these games, you hope Howard can get 10 points, because I've been doing a lot of these crazy underdog games. If they can get 10 points, they pretty much cover almost every time. So if Howard can get 10 points, I think you're good. We're going to take Howard plus the points. That's just an insane number against this Maryland team. Then the last matchup, we have the Idaho Vandals versus the Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana opening up as 29.5-point favorites with the over-under at 52. Indiana coming off that tough loss to Iowa 34-6. Did not look good in that matchup there. Got to be a good bounce back game for Indiana coming off that loss. Idaho is not a very good team at all. This has got to be their scoring game for Indiana. Going to take Indy minus 29.5. They should be able to beat up on this Idaho team. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Saturday, and I'll see you guys Sunday. Have a good one.